Ever had that moment where you knew the tool, the strategy, the regulation skill, but completely forgot to use it when you needed it most? Yeah, that's not just you. In this episode, I'm sharing the two ADHD friendly approaches I give my clients to actually remember to do the thing in real time. Plus, I'm gently busting a few mindfulness myths along the way. Don't worry, no silent retreats required. Let's make those skills stick. Be sure to listen. Welcome to the Self-Loved ADHD Woman's Way podcast. I'm your host, Jen Barnes. If you're an ADHD woman entrepreneur, ADHD adjacent, or ADHD-ish, you've come to the right place. We'll dive deep into the unique challenges you face, from the inner turmoil to the outer obstacles. We'll blend neuroscience, IFS, and somatic healing and explore practical strategies to help you navigate the world of entrepreneurship with ADHD with greater ease and effectiveness. I'm glad you're here. Hey, it's Jen. I'm so glad you're here. So today's episode is going to be short and sweet because I want to spend some time answering a question that two of my clients who both have ADHD asked me this week, and it's an important one. But I also today spent a lot of time getting my pre-sale for my journal book experience that I'll share about later in this episode. So I only have a short amount of time. So I thought I'd take a moment to answer their question, which was almost the identical question. So that tells me that the universe is saying, Jen, people want to know. So the question was, yeah, okay, I know the skill to use, but how do I remember to do that in the moment? So here's the thing. There's two things that are important here. One is to create some kind of anchor. And if you could have a little follow through fairy to put in the future at the time of performance when you want to do the skill or respond to the anger or other feeling or child's request or whatever it is, if you can think about if you had a little follow through fairy who was there with you at the time of that event that you want to use the skill, what would they say to you then? What would they say? Would they say, oh, hey, just a reminder, right now we're going to take a breath, or oh, let's take a moment to pause, or what is it that they would say? Because what you want to do is set your intention for the follow through fairy so she can help you in the moment. So by having that follow through fairy, you'll be more likely to remember, and you might anchor that task that the follow through fairy is going to help you do with something else. Like, for example, if you're struggling with anger or big feelings and you need to regulate your nervous system more, or maybe it's shut down and you need to regulate your nervous system more, then anchor that in an activity that you do, whether it's eating or brushing your teeth or every time you get in and out of your car. Probably not every time you look at your phone. It would be great if you regulated every time you did that, but you'd be only regulating all day, I suspect. But anchor the thing you want to do with something that you already do regularly, because that will help you and the follow through fairy keep you doing it. Now, I want to talk about the thing that will actually help you better long term. And the reason I saved it is because no one wants to hear about it. No one wants to do it. Everyone's like, "Uh." It's a pain because it's something many of us know would help us. And a lot of us don't want to do it. So I'm going to share what it is. I'm going to share some of the myths about it, which I've done more extensively elsewhere. And then I'm going to share how to make it simple. That practice is mindfulness. Because here's the thing, when you practice mindfulness consistently, then you are increasing the space between stimulus, the thing that happens, and your response. So then in that space, the follow through fairy can come through and help you remember to do it. Because otherwise, we just are reacting to our environment. So when we practice mindfulness consistently, we are more likely to be able to notice that there is that space and then do something different. And I want to just say this. One of the biggest misconceptions for ADHD women with mindfulness is, I can't, my thoughts are too busy. Let me tell you something. My thoughts have been so scattered lately. I'm in the process of working on doing less because I was really, really close to teetering on the edge of burnout, and I'm still there. I'm working my way away from it. I'm going to talk more about that in future episodes as I get my self back on track. But I've been really scattered lately, and my thoughts have been all over the place. And I will tell you, my morning meditation practice, which is a type of mindfulness, has been so scattered. It's not meant to be this like peaceful, zened out, no thought thing. You're gonna have thoughts when you meditate. Your brain, or do mindfulness, your brain, our brains, every brain is designed to think. I think that's what the human brain does is it thinks. That's what our prefrontal cortex does. One of the things it does. And so to expect that we would just all of a sudden stop thinking while we're alive is not even close to realistic. Even people in a coma are thinking. So it's not about stopping your thoughts or making your thoughts be calm. It's just about being present and about noticing when you stop being present and then bringing your attention back. In fact, John Kabat-Zinn, who created mindfulness-based stress reduction, that program, the University of Minnesota offers it, by the way. If you're in Minnesota, it's a great program to hook up with. But he said in his book, I think it was Wherever You Go, There You Are, that I read, one of the first mindfulness books I read, he basically says, like, when your attention goes away from the object of your mindfulness practice, whether it's your breath or something in your body or a candle or I don't know, work like a mantra, whatever it is, noticing when you're off, when your attention has gotten distracted and bringing it back to what you intended to focus on and be mindful about. That practice is actually what strengthens the parts of our brain that pay attention. So without that, you're not really growing your brain much when you do mindfulness practices or meditate. So, like, in other words, you're kind of supposed to get distracted. That's the practice. The practice is getting distracted, going, oh, I'm distracted, and bringing your attention back. My hope by sharing that as a focus of what we're talking about today is that you'll really hear it so that this mindfulness practice, this mindfulness thing becomes less of this hairy, scary ordeal. And it's just like, oh, I can do this whenever. And the next complaint I hear is, I don't have time for all that. Well, here's the thing. And maybe this was my snarky self when I was right out of grad school in my early 30s, but I started teaching people to do mindful toothbrushing because a lot of people would tell me they didn't have time for all that. And I would say, well, do you brush your teeth every day? And they're like, yeah, usually twice. Great. Now you have 2 times you can practice mindfulness. So, how do you practice mindful toothbrushing? Just like if you were going to notice your breath mindfully, right? Noticing your breath mindfully, you'd be aware of your breath. You'd notice your breath moving in and moving out, and maybe notice body sensations as you do that. Well, with mindful toothbrushing, you're going to notice the sound of your toothbrush, the initial like pastiness of the toothpaste. You'll notice each and every tooth, but remember, you're going to get distracted because that's what happens. So as soon as you notice that you stop doing that, you go, oh, whoops, I'm going to bring my attention back. You notice each and every tooth. You notice how the paste eventually goes from paste to like foam, and then you got a little bit in the corner of your mouth, maybe even dripping down your chin, depending on if you're a messy toothbrusher. But you're just going to notice this. And every time you get distracted, you'll bring your attention back. That's all you have to do. That's all mindfulness is. If you did that twice a day, that would help you so much in being able to create distance between stimulus and response so that in the moment you can remember to apply the skill you want to do. Now, granted, doing more mindfulness will help, but that's a nice mindfulness starter plan because sometimes just sitting down and noticing your breath can be stressful. There's all kinds of mindfulness strategies you can use. The other thing I want to say about this, though, is some people are like, well, what if I don't even notice I was distracted till the next day? Perfect. I got a plan for you. As soon as you notice that you were distracted, I want you to bring your attention back. And if you no longer have your toothbrush in your hand, imagine your toothbrush and just take a moment, take a breath, noticing it so that you're in the practice of bringing your attention back to the object of your mindfulness practice. Then back that up. So the next time you remember, maybe it'll be closer to when you're actually doing the mindfulness practice. And eventually you might start to notice in the moment of your mindfulness practice, maybe over and over again. And don't worry, doing mindful toothbrushing, I expect your attention to get distracted multiple times. In fact, I don't know, what does it take those little timed things? 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes to brush your teeth nowadays, or is it only three? I can't remember. I expect your you to be distracted, like, I don't know, maybe every 10 seconds with ADHD. It's okay. It might be less, it might be more, but know that that's gonna happen. Just plan for it and go, "Oh, I was thinking, I got distracted," and come back. Okay? So that is your homework from this episode. Short, hopefully sweet and not too snarky for you, but hopefully beneficial so that you can actually start to notice what you need to do in the moment more often. And if you are listening to this, I want to share something. I am super excited to announce the pre-sale of my first journal book experience. So I've created this journal book experience. It's not just a journal, it's an experience to help you overcome some of the inner obstacles of ADHD. It's called the Self-Love ADHD Woman Way, How to Stop Playing Small with ADHD. So you can check out the link in the show notes to get access to that pre-sale deal as soon as you like. So I look forward to talking more about that in the coming weeks. But until then, take care.